You are welcome to this video. This is the continuation of the C# beginner series. If you are new here, kindly subscribe and click on the notification bell so that you are updated when a new video is out. In the previous video, we looked at classes in C#. If you did not watch that, I encourage us to go and watch that video before coming back to this. In this video, we'll be talking about access modifiers in C#. So, access modifiers are keywords which are used to specify visibility or accessibility of class members or even the class itself. So, such as, and in the last lesson, we looked at what class members are. They determine what code has access or can interact with the class members. We have several of these particular access modifiers in C#. Specifically, we have about 6 of them. We'll be looking at them one after the other. In this video, we'll be looking at the public and the private. But we also have the protected, we have the internal, we have the protected internal, and we have the private protected. We'll be looking at those in subsequent videos. But in this video, we'll be looking at the public and the private access modifier. The public access modifier gives the member accessibility or visibility to everyone who wants to use it. So anyone can use it, anyone can have access to it. It's just like, imagine like a public area in wherever you live. Some spaces are public, anyone could go there, anyone could do whatever they want to do. That is how a public access modifier, that's what it gives to whoever uses it. So the public keyword gives the highest level of visibility. So if you need a particular class or its member to be visible everywhere, this is the right access modifier to use. So for example, if an area is going to be accessible to everyone without any restrictions, that is to be given a public area, for example. So in terms of code, anything that has the public will be accessible from anywhere. So let's look at this with an example. So let's have our class. Let's just call it public class. Let's call it class name. And then, so let's have a public integer. And let's just use what we have here. I don't want it to be a property. Let's just have it like this. Now, if I come and I create an object out of this, so let's say I say object, I can't use object is a keyword, so let's just object 1, and I want to create an object based of this class called class name. Now, what this does is that it has created this particular object based of the template which we have called the class name, right? So if I do object 1 dot, as I showed us in the previous video, you can see we have our ID here. Our ID exists here, right? So I could say dot ID and I could put in, let's say 54. This works fine. And this is because it's the public, meaning that it's accessible. This particular ID is accessible to everyone and everywhere. That is why it is called public. So you see, this particular field ID can be accessed from anyone, anywhere, like we've seen here. So we have this object and they could access it there and it works fine. There's no problem. This is the public access modifier. Let's go to the other one, the private access modifier. So if we go back to our slide, the private access modifier restricts access of a type or member to only within the containing class. And whereas the public gives the highest level of visibility, the private modifier gives the lowest level of visibility. And we could say it is the most restrictive of all of them. So if we come to our class that we have here, and if I create a private, let's call it string, let's say name, if I have this, I cannot use this name, cannot use this variable called name outside of this class. So if I come here and I say object1 and I give the dot, you will not see name anywhere. As you see, we can't find name here. We see the ID, but we don't see the name. That is because this name is actually giving a private, meaning that you cannot be used, you cannot be seen except inside of this class. So inside here, so if I have a method, so public, let's say string name of person, inside of here I can use name. So I could say name is equals to s solution. So I could say this, s solution. I could say this, and let's say we just return name. We could have this in, and this works fine. You see, name can be used within this class where it is declared because it is private, but it cannot be used outside of that. So for example, like when we came here, like when we came to object1 here and we said dot, we will not find it there. It's very important to note. Also, when we talk of methods, so if we come here and we say object1 dot, we will still see this method called name of person. That is because it's a public method. This name of person has an access modifier of public, so it knows that this should be seen or could be seen anywhere. So that is why when we have the name of person, it has that, it can run that, it can perform that action. But let's say we have a particular action that you only want to be used within this class. You could have it, so private, let me just give it int. It could be any type, like a method, get do something with ID. Let's just give it that, and I could say I want to return ID for whatever. Now what you will notice here is that if I now come outside of that class and I say object1 and I do dot, whereas I saw name of person, we can see the name of person here, you find out that we do not have do something with ID here. Do something with ID does not exist outside of the class where it was declared. So we have do something with ID here. It cannot exist outside of this class. We can't do anything with it outside of this class that it is declared within. But if I change this to public now and I come here and I say dot, you will see that we have do something with ID, because now I have told it should be visible everywhere and anywhere. So we see that exactly that's what we have here. So do something with ID is not accessible anywhere, but since I want it to be private, I make it private. And if we come again here, we see that we do not find do something with ID, because at this point it is private. Now, having said that, if I have a private method, it means that I have to use it inside here. So for example, let's say I want to say the name of person plus the ID of the person, for example. So I will have it do something like this, and I will say do something with ID. You see, that is accessible inside of this class. I can use do something with ID. I could use that inside of this particular class. So far I am within this class, I am free to use it, but outside of this class I cannot use it. So this is very important and useful. For example, if this do something with ID, if the logic there is something that no other person should know about, no other person should be able to use it, is only something that should be used within this class, then I declare it as a private, because I only want it to be used within this particular class. So just like we have VIP areas where only those that are in the class of VIP can access, it's the same way we have like this private, where it says that only those who are within this class can make use of me. Within this particular class, anyone can make use of me. But if you are not in this class, you cannot make use of anything that is private. So that is what the private access modifier looks like, and that is its major purpose when you want it to be used within a particular class. But when you want it to be visible anywhere, to be useful anywhere, we make it public. I hope this was clear, and I hope that we can now see where we use the public or the private keyword and where each of them could be applicable. Thank you, and I'll see us again in the next video.